Greetings, ghouls and goblins, and universe and what you nerdy, and it's time for Lazyween to officially begin. For the air is just right, the crisp cold is upon us, the pumpkin spice is the most horrifying thing in existence, and people are continuously watching horror movies continuously over and over again. So it is time to begin what is probably my most famous video recommendations, which is Lazyween. As last year when I did it, it turned out to be quite successful, and I'm hoping it's the same for this year. And I can guarantee you that it'll probably be just as successful. So, what movie are we doing? Are we doing today? Which one are we holding high hopes to? Well, we are in fact going to take a look at probably what is one of the most successful film franchises out there. And I know I should start with the first movie, but I don't own it. And I've already technically reviewed one of these films before. I've already reviewed Evil Dead Rise, and I've already reviewed Ash vs. Evil Dead, so might as well just get right into it. So we're going to be talking about Evil Dead 2 right here on Lazyween. So just to warn people, this will be my review and retrospective upon the cult classic Evil Dead 2, so I should feel free to warn you that spoilers are ahead, so you have been warned right here, spoilers. Sam Raimi is a genius when it comes to sequels. Spider-Man 2 is considered one of the best superhero movies of all time. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was a surprising sequel to the original. I'd have to watch them back to back again, but I would say that it's not better than the original in my opinion, but it still holds up pretty damn well. Sam Raimi can do no wrong when he directs sequels, and especially Evil Dead 2 is considered one of the greatest horror movies ever made, next to his cult classic original that he made in college. Yeah, he made a low-budget film in college with his good friend Bruce Campbell, and that launched their careers. Bruce Campbell would become a great B-movie actor, and Sam Raimi would be a credited award-winning director. And when you put the two together, they can create some good things. Which is in case in point when we're talking about Evil Dead 2, which is considered one of the greatest horror movies ever made. And a great step up from what the original was. You can still find Sam Raimi's original Evil Dead, not the theatrical release, but the one that he did in college out there somewhere. And even Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi are still friends to this day, continuing their friendship from college. Which I have to find and say that is pretty amazing. So, why don't we take a ride into the cabin in the woods, and invite our girlfriend only to be murdered? So let's check out and give the Lazyween treatment to Evil Dead 2. And I'm just warning people again, if you haven't seen this horror movie yet, spoilers are ahead, which of course there are a couple cool things that I will point out in the said retrospective. So let's dive into Evil Dead 2. We begin our movie with Ash Campbell and his girlfriend Linda driving to the cabin in the woods where he once stayed in those horrifying events, still ring with him, but he still wants to get laid. Which Sam Raimi is masterful at doing this, introducing this doof of a character, and yet making him a somewhat likable character, especially within the first opening of the movie. Which I love that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell were consistent with this, and that Ash never officially moved past the night of the cabin incident that happened in the first movie, and especially with this one mostly. He never really moved past. He wanted to actually make a life for himself and get together with Linda, who happened just to be his love interest of this movie. Which, something that I love about Ash vs. Evil Dead is that it does point out that Ash really never did move on past this night, the night where his life went totally into hell and he was cursed for the rest of his life. And even it's kind of romantic and kind of cute in the sense that he never officially moved away from Linda.
You left me here, Ash.
That's because you were dead.
You killed me.
You turned it.
Only?
No. You are not alive. I know you're not.
Don't you love me anymore?
You're not Linda. You're just a head.
Why are you being so...
I love that this adds such depth and flavor to the character of Ashley Ash Williams. Yes, that is his name that he's burdened with. And what I love is that somehow Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell were so creative of doing this, is that they take this doof of a character, this biggest dumbass that you could ever meet in your life, the man whose stupidity astounds everyone, and yet they made him a hero. Sure, this is probably a reference to Don Quixote, about the story about the biggest idiot in the world, but who somehow managed to become a great knight and a great hero all in all. So I do like that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell both were pretty creative in doing this, and I do love how they both managed to still remember that Ash and Linda had never really moved on since that night, and he still loves her. He never moved on from that moment because this was the woman that he was intending to spend the rest of his life with. And if that is not horrifyingly true love, ladies and gentlemen, then I don't know what is, as that was just one of the greatest moments ever. That is, of course, until, well, his girlfriend becomes possessed. Try a dating website, they said. It'd be fine, they said. The woman might turn out to be wonderful that you meet across the internet, they said. I should have known that there was something creepy when her profile picture said does become possessed by demons every once in a while, but I just thought that she was referring to her period that she gets every month. Fun fact. The contact that they used for the Deadite makeup in this movie actually made people blind. So the actress that's playing Linda is actually, yep, blind. She can't see. Even Bruce Campbell had pointed out later on in both this movie and also Evil Dead 1 is that when he became possessed, he can't see. So these contacts were not the best things in the world, but God bless them for doing what they did, as yet it basically is in a moment of like, I can't see, but I still want this to go well. Yeah, and later on in the film, when Ash does become possessed, yeah, he can't see. Bruce Campbell had admitted that he cannot see through those contacts, so when he was reaching around blindly, trying to strangle the actress that played Annie, yeah, he actually was reaching around blindly, trying to actually choke her out and everything. And that is a moment of cinematic history that you can basically just assemble yourself to. And also, in Ash vs. Evil Dead, Linda did point out that she does get some great head, but I wonder what she means by that. Right at this moment, Ash knew that he had to become stronger. He had to become stronger than the thing that he was fighting against, and the only way to do that is to basically fight the evil that he has summoned. But I love that the first thing that Ash tried to do is leave the woods, leave the cabin, as he had just done with this horrifying nightmare until the Deadite basically ruined the bridge and the only way out. And again, I gotta give props and credit to the great Bruce Campbell, as this role could not have been easy for him, but God bless it, he does everything in his power to make it worthy. People talk about one of the greatest heroes of horror. Bruce Campbell's role as Ash Williams Ash Williams, yes, definitely had raised the bar because people were not expecting him to be a great like-worthy hero. And of course, later on in the role, his role would change with that he would be basically a triumphant ladies' man, but still the biggest idiot in the world. As here, he is an idiot in some regards, but he had to learn to try to get past what he's going through, just summoning the demon creatures out of nowhere, and that becomes his main goal. That becomes his drive to try to figure out how can I destroy this evil that I've accidentally summoned. And the best way to do it in his regard is to kick ass, but everything goes against him. His hand becomes possessed, he has to cut it off. He get demons all around him, and especially later on when Annie and the rest of the cast show up, he has to learn to overcome his own fears and learn to summon one of the greatest heroes of cinematic history that was ever summoned. And again, that is through the greatest talent of Bruce Campbell, as when we first meet him, he is this great idiot and he is very stupid, but he's a likable hero. And he is put through such traumatic and overbearing extent that where he could actually break himself, but he doesn't actually break himself, he becomes stronger all the more for it. Which, of course, later on in the movie, it made his transformation all the more signifying when he just decided enough is enough with this, and then no more, and then no more Mr. Nice Guy. it was at that moment when Ash had to basically stop being this wimp, this this wimp, this little, you might well say, this little bitch of a character, and basically man right up. He'd gone through so much trauma, and it's time for him to fight back against it. Which is why people really do love the role of Ash Williams, is because they can see themselves in Ash Williams. That there are people out there that went through such traumatic events and everything that they had to try to overcome it in their own ways. And through Ash, they can really live out that world of I went through this, I lived through this, and all the better for it because I conquered my own demons. Except in Ash Williams' case, he actually is really fighting against his own demons. But it's a great transformation that you should be definitely checking out for this movie, as he just had to summon up every ounce of strength that he had within him that he didn't know was hidden, and transform himself into the greatest badass superhero that can kick Deadeye ass. As again, it was just so great to see this character transform from what was an idiot into the greatest superhero who ever lived and the greatest man to fight horrifying creatures. Which of course leads off into an unsettling ending where we didn't know what happened to Ash, whether the house won against him or not, whether it killed him and Andy Nobi or not, by sending him back to the past. He got sent back to the past, Samurai Ash. Actually, correction, that there is a continuation of Evil Dead 2 in comic book form, actually, that basically continue off with Andy Nobi and Ash Williams. Not Ash that got sent back in time to Army of Darkness. I'll have to review that again at some point and do a proper review. But she actually meets another clone of Ash Williams through his hand. Comic books are weird. But they are really well written from what I understand, and Linkara, one of my favorite YouTubers, has actually reviewed a Christmas themed review of it, a Christmas themed comic of it, which is actually pretty creepy, truthfully, and really well written and drawn. But I'm getting off topic. So, would I recommend Evil Dead 2 to you guys? Nope, not at all. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Of course that I recommend it. It's a greatly written movie, greatly directed, and basically the character of Ash Williams with Bruce Campbell's performance is phenomenal. This movie is definitely legendary. It holds up to the stuff of legends, and it could be considered by all things necessarily for people for when they talk about Evil Dead and horror movies in general, it's considered people's number one. That's why my Funko Pop rating of Evil Dead 2 is going to be an Ichigo Kurosaki, because it definitely is number one. And if you don't get that reference, I don't care. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with a link in the description down below. and I will pin in the comments down below where you can find link cards atop the fourth wall review of the Evil Dead 2 comic book, which is basically a Christmas special, but still worth checking out in the comments down below. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about Evil Dead 2 down in the comment section down below. Do you think it's one of the greatest horror films ever made, or do you think that it really could have been better? So anyways, let me know in the comments down below, and thank you guys as always so much for watching. I believe in the universe, I believe in you to keep you on, and if you want to help support the channel the best way possible by doing so is liking, sharing, commenting, and clicking that bell icon so you never miss a video. And if you want to see anything that I'm working on behind the scenes, you can do so by following me at Twitter, with the link in the description down below. I believe in the universe, I believe in you to keep you on, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care, and stay spooky.